Hello guys, Mechanite here, and today we're back with another episode in our series of the Theoretical Generation 10 region. Still don't know what it's called, I might come up with a name later, but I know we haven't done this in a while because of Ginormous, the drawing challenge, where I make a new Gigantamax Pokemon every day. Go watch that. But today, we've got a crucial part of any Pokemon game. The Pokemon that irritate you in caves and force you to buy repels for the sake of it. Just because caves are cool, I guess, Pokemon community. So, yeah, they're a staple of every Pokemon game. A lot of people will catch them. And all of them are pretty cool. Like, Giglif's cool, and everyone seems to love Crobat. So let's hop into the cave and remember our repels, because dear God, do you not want to not remember your repels? Remember your repels is what I'm trying to say. Repels, it's just horrible. It's just Zubat after Zubat after Zubat. But yeah, that don't matter. Anyway, let's hop in with the first line, which is the Rock Monster line. Think Geodude, Boldor, sort of Aggron. But Aggron has, like, animal inspirations. So I wouldn't really call it a Rock Monster. Just, like, the sentient rock that some regions had. I guess Sudowoodo could even fit here. Sort of. It's petrified wood, but it's still rock type. And it's not like an animal or anything. So, like the video if you think Sudowoodo should count. But this is ours. It's Psych. We're actually showing you our inspiration first. I went on holiday and I found this picture which was perfect. It's got 3 absolutely amazing rocks in them. I'm only going to be talking about 2, but I'm pretty sure you can find a third. This rock, the biggest one, I love how the barnacles on it. I like living there, even though a rock is not some place you would consider a home. It looks very worn out, but the barnacles still live in it, which I think is really cool. And then if you look a bit down, there's a white rock with moss all over it. I really like the idea of that and the patterns it formed. I thought those were interesting, so I've used them for the final stage. I also took inspiration from these rocks because they look like regular shapes, like triangle, rectangle. When you look up close, they're actually really jagged and just different. So that's what I liked about them. I really like this rock as well, because if you have a look, it's smooth but jagged on one side and smooth but rough on the other. It's smooth all over, but that contrast of the different sides is what Pokemon need. I mean, not sides of a rock, but just contrast. So it makes a great Pokemon, like Tinkaton, a cute pink gremlin, has a massive Corviknight hammer made of Corviknight corpses. Corpsenites. Yeah. So here it is. Shardsion from Shard and Mansion, because this Pokemon, like I said, houses smaller Pokemon in a little hut on its arm. We need more asymmetrical Pokemon. It's just a rock type for now, and as you can see, its main body is covered in holes as well. It's like chickenpox. I wouldn't say this is one of my best designs, but there's a lot of personality hiding beneath that face. This is definitely the Pokemon Ash, or I guess whoever the new anime protagonists are, would have. It's a bit weird, it's just a sentient shard at the moment, but it will get cooler as it evolves. Here it's also smooth, but when it evolves it becomes jagged. When it evolves into Splirak. If you have a look, its eyes are blue because it looks like it's crying, it's angry. It's our first ever rock ghost type. took them long enough. Well, actually, they hadn't even brought out a Ghost Rock type, so like, we've been waiting like 2 decades, Nintendo. Or whoever the Pokemon company now. I don't care. I want a Ghost Rock type. Anyway, if you have a look with this design, it's got sort of claws that are like the hut it had ripped apart. But now it's more of a natural house. And you can see it's angry, it's got less spots on it. And it's meant to represent different living spaces. It started with a hut, then it evolved into a house, and you have a look at the head, and it's a castle. Just like Hogwarts, and to bring this full circle, I did a crack on its head because, angry rocks cracking. And that just makes sense. And also, it's a reference to Harry Potter and how he gained his magic powers as Pokemon's gaining their ghostly powers. It would be so funny if this Pokemon, well, actually, I think it would make sense if this Pokemon evolved at a multiple of 11, like 33. It evolves at level 33 because Harry got his powers when he was 11-year-old. I think that's really cool. There's also less spots on it now because, like, it's ripping the house apart. I don't care about these poor creatures anymore. Although sometimes they will sneak onto its head and just be living the life in a castle. Also, its eye is split. A bit weird. It's a bit like a spiral. But it'll all make sense when you see its final evolution. Vortone. As you can see, it pulls together rocks that are too heavy for it. But they make it his fists. As you can see, it's actually coming out of the castle bit from the old Pokemon. It's not exactly, but it's a bit darker to fit the tone. This definitely looks like a Spiritomb regional variant. And originally, I actually was going to do a regional variant, so If you have a look at the rocks on the fists, they're actually multiple rocks. But they're like a fist, and they're weighing the Pokemon down. I always loved that design trend. So I'm happy I could implement it here. And they're the only parts of the body that haven't fully cracked, but they've got cracks on them because of how much the Pokemon is using them and throwing them to the ground because they're too heavy. It also gets surrounded by this spiral of other rocks, which is inspired by the patterns on the moss rock I saw earlier. And also, the rocks have got moss on them, which I thought, just like this Pokemon's angry face and ghostly design, sort of implied it was ancient, old. Which I think worked. This is one of my favourite designs from this series. Right, moving on. It's time for our bat. Think Woobat or Crobat or whatever. They're a staple of every Pokemon game, and I was originally going to do a 3-stage like Crobat. But if you think about it, it started off with just Zubat and Golbat. And it's only Woobat and Swoobat. So I feel like bat Pokemon should be 2 stages. At least the more common ones at the start of a game anyway. Also, this is our first split Evo of the region. Yes, it's a 2-stage, but there's going to be more than one design, even more than 3. But, it's still 2-stage. It doesn't evolve 2 times, it only evolves 1 time, and that makes it a 2-stage. It's not like it evolves into one and the other, like Shedinja and Ninjask. Still don't know how that works, by the way. But I'm getting off topic. Here is Vamp Cloak, a flying dark type. And as you can see, it's got 2 different forms for day and night. In the day one, it just looks like a weird furry animal inside of a cloak. It's flying dark type, by the way. I'm surprised we hadn't had a flying dark bat Pokemon. But you can see its claws poking out. And that cloak is actually its wings, which you can see clearly in the night form. And in both of them, the eyes are covered, which I think, makes sense. Vampires hate daylight, like they'll suck your blood, blah, blah, blah. But you know, and I really like the idea of just behind that massive cloak, like there'll be an episode in the anime, they open the massive, like at night, they open the massive cloak and the regular Pokemon just falls out. Because if you have a look, it's actually really small compared to its wings. Now, I'm sure you know how this evolution is going to work. If it evolves in the daytime, it becomes Cloak Cover. I really like the name Cloak and Cover. It's simple but effective. As you can see, it sort of loses its bat inspirations and vampire inspirations and goes for more like Frankenstein's monster, just like Albination weird blob thing. Like, it looks weird, but it's meant to. And the ribbons on it are like the original's ears. So, you know. Also, yeah, its face is covered by a sort of like hood. And its arms aren't actually its arms. Those are sleeves. Which I think is really cool. I don't know how it would work. I guess the cloak can't really be its wings anymore. But, you know, still makes sense. A bit like the Tangrowth line, but it has a split evolution, okay? I tried to be different. So if it evolves at night, it becomes Vombat. From Vampire Bat and Combat. I'm in love with that name, I've just got to say. It's just so fun to say. I choose you, Vombat. It's a flying dark type still. You know, you can't really change that about it. And here it is. As you can see, you can't actually see its eyes, which, you know. And it's more dinosaur-like with its tail, which just makes sense. And it's, like, less... It's more bat-like than the other one, but it takes inspiration from more birds now. And the ribbons are meant to give it that flowy movement. Also, the ears on this being multicoloured, they just work because bats have echolocation, multicoloured ears, just like that's what people do in like cartoons and fake designs all the time. So it works. And I think it's cool to have this dark red design and then a pink and purple ear. It's just funny. And this Pokemon silhouette looks like it's running. And, you know, I imagine like this being in an epic combat scene with the other one. This definitely is more offensive than the other one. I'll say that. The other one is just defense, special defense all over. Probably low HP though. That'd be fun because like the regular Pokemon inside is still really small. This one, it's all about its speed and attack, but its special attack is a bit lacking. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, and well, we're out of the Route 1 territory, or like any other Pokemon staple Pokemon of every game, early Route anything territory without going into the legendary, so like I've run out of ideas. So like if you've got any ideas, feel free to shout them at your screen. Right, this has been Mechanite, and I want to get out of this cave as soon as possible. Please, I'm being swarmed by these Zubats.